Hello and welcome to the broadcast. It is Sunday, March 15th, and I'm going to do a thing that I've been talking about doing for probably 2 years now, which is stream my favorite game of all time, Ocarina of Time. So, yeah, my camera is tilted up weirdly. It usually sits about, not quite that low. Oh, oh, oh. You know what, fuck it. Yeah, so that's the plan for today. But also first, Levi, thank you for the 8-month resub. Holy shit, that's a long time. We're almost to sub baby territory. So you better start thinking of names. Cause that's gonna, life comes at you fast. And yeah, so Ocarina of Time is probably the first real video game I ever played. The first video game I ever played was not like, it was a game for kids that was meant to like teach stuff. It was an edutainment sort of situation. Life finds a way. It do. But the first game I ever got to play that was like a game meant just to be a game, a video game meant just to be a video game, was Ocarina of Time. On my very first console, which was an N64. That exact console is sitting right next to me right now with that exact cartridge loaded into it. It's plugged into my computer, and that's what we're going to be playing. I remember because I watched our roommate at the time. I was like 5 or 6, something like that. Maybe even younger than that. Now that I think about it, might have been closer to 4 or 5. And I was watching our roommate play the game, and it, emotionally affected me like really strongly. I was really drawn to it. And I'll talk more about that when we get to the relevant part of the story, or of the game. But like, I was really drawn to this game, and so that Christmas, my parents got my sibling and I a Nintendo 64, and Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and those were the first games I ever played. So this is kind of a big deal for me, and I'm gonna approach it sort of differently from other games, because I'm gonna be able to talk about my emotional reactions to things, similar to, I guess, how the Halo Reach playthrough went. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. You may notice that I am wearing an Ocarina of Time shirt, and I have a Legend of Zelda hoodie on right now. Actually, this painting that is behind me, that sits behind me out of camera, or out of frame, is a traditional Japanese style painting of Link from Ocarina of Time. So, you can get a bit of a feeling, a bit of an impression for how I feel about this game. Jess, thank you for the host. So yeah, we're gonna go through. I'm gonna talk about the design of the game, obviously. But I'm also going to talk about my personal experiences with it, playing it as a kid. And this game, and to a greater extent, the following one, Majora's Mask, are the two games that I have the most deep-seated, like, thematic analysis of any game that I've ever played. Because I've been sitting thinking about these games for about 20 years. And in that time, I have I've dissected the symbolism and things over and over again, come to new conclusions and whatnot. I'm going to be a little lighter on that with Ocarina of Time, admittedly, than I will be with Majora's Mask, because I feel like Majora's Mask is a little more upfront about its themes than Ocarina of Time. I think Ocarina of Time is a little subtler, or a little more subtle. So I might have slightly less to say there. But yeah. Okay. Is that enough preamble? Have I prepared you enough for this? I think I have. So I'm just going to switch over to this screen, which I haven't used in probably a year, because this is also my speedrun overlay, which I haven't used. And I'm going to turn on my N64 and hope that the cartridge loads. Yeah! All right. And let me know if you can hear the game, all that sort of stuff. It is going to look very pixelated and jank because it is a console from the 90s. And actually, let me double check. When did Ocarina of Time, I think it came out in like 97? 98. Yeah, so this game is, Jesus. This game is 22 years old. Just about. Came out November 21st of 98. Yeah, I was 6 years old. Yeah, okay, so I got these games pretty much right after they came out. And this starting screen is really interesting. A lot of games later, especially on the PlayStation, moved to you have a splash screen, and then if you sit on the splash screen for too long, then to like save your screen from burning out, because that was a thing that used to happen, it would play a little video. This does a similar thing, which we're about to get to. It's about to play the little preview video, but it does so in Engine 1, which is interesting. And that title splash screen includes the landscape, right? It includes the setting that we're in, which does something specific in that it roots us in the setting. It tells us that the setting is important. We're gonna be spending a lot of time interacting with characters, dealing with monsters, that sort of thing. But by starting us here, by showing us just Link and just what we will later come to discover as Hyrule Field, it connects the two, right? It relates our main character to the setting and vice versa, which is, I think, really important to some of the themes going on in this game. So yeah, let's head in, and you will see we have my speedrunning profile that I put here, a casual playthrough that I started a while ago, and this is actually my siblings' childhood save on the cartridge from when they started to replay it. So yeah, this is a real thing. Oh my goodness, Rob, thank you for the 3-month resub. Congratulations on the new shield. Good luck in the game. Last time I played Zelda was on the Famicom Disk System in the 80s. Graphics have advanced. Yeah, from the 80s to 98, they improved a little bit. I think this is actually the first 3D Zelda game, if I remember correctly. So what we're gonna do here is I'm going to erase this Anaris file. And we are going to start an entirely new game. And I am just gonna name it Anaris. Fuck. Typing on this controller is a nightmare. And yeah, I am using the old gray thing, which I kind of like, but also we will see the limitations of this control scheme. Danny! Hello! Welcome. Thank you for the host. Alright. That's my name. Here we go. And I'll try to narrate as we go, but I probably won't do voices. In the vast, deep forest of Hyrule, long have I served as the guardian spirit. I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has his or her own guardian fairy. However, there is one boy who does not have a fairy. mysterious nightmare times. I do know 100% of the music in this game, and I will do my best not to sing over it. Navi, Navi, where art thou? Come hither. O Navi the fairy, listen to my words, the words of the Deku Tree. Yeah, Danny, I remember you doing some weird Scottish thing for the Great Deku Tree. It was pretty good. Dost thou sense it? The climate of evil descending upon this realm. Malevolent forces even now are mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. For so long, the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier, deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of the world. But, before this tremendous evil power, even my power is as nothing. It seems the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. The youth whose destiny is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world, depends upon thee. So, yeah, I mean, the boy without a fairy is a reasonable descriptor if we consider what they said in the introduction, where every person in the Kokiri Forest has a fairy, except this one specific one. And we'll get into why that is later. I'm going to do my best not to spoil anything in this, even though obviously I know everything, and spoilers in chat are not going to ruin anything for me. Just for the sake of people who have not had the chance to play this or watch it. So, but an interesting UI thing that's happening here is if you looked back, or if you noticed previously, as we were going through this dialogue, the little blue symbol at the bottom was a triangle, like a downward pointing triangle, and now it is a square, which when we press will end the dialogue. Which is just, it's a little touch, but it's a nice way to get us to understand where we're at in a given scene. Woo! Hello. Hello. Oh boy. And a fun little factoid. So this forest and the people within it are referred to as Kokiri, which, if I remember correctly, roughly translates to, like, the characters used in it roughly translate to tree children. I could be wrong. Don't take my word for it, double check. But hello, Anarasis, wake up! The Great Deku Tree wants to talk to you. Anarasis, get up! There's also, like, so much just highlighting of important text so that we can understand what it is we're supposed to absorb. This is a game that was made for kids. It's rated E for everyone. And while it does have some adult themes and some dark themes, it is, the audience primarily is kids. And so there's some good information highlighting and reinforcement throughout the game to make it easy for a kid to not get lost. Which is interesting when you see so many games now be like, we have one way that we treat text in the entire game and that's it. And then you have fucking 30-year-olds playing the game being like, I just got back from work, I haven't played this game in 2 weeks and I have no idea what's going on. I have some feelings that maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring back some of these design decisions. Hey, come on! Also, look at that dynamic lighting of Navi flying around our character. that was not easy to to achieve on this console, just from a technical standpoint. And you'll note that the environment around us, this room that we're in, isn't 3D rendered. It is a sprite. It's a pre-rendered area that was rendered from this camera point of view beforehand. So none of the geometry of the game is actually interacting with the background in any way. Can Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? God, what a mood. Every time someone's like, Dylan, you must do your civic duty. You must do this. I'm like, can our destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? Yeah. Hey, I'm glad to hear it, Damien. You finally woke up. I'm Navi the fairy. The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you. By highlighting partner, they're indicating that this is an important moment. Because they're not just highlighting proper nouns, they're highlighting important terms, things that we need to understand and recognize the weight of. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you, so let's get going right now. All right, up and at 'em. Look at our room. What a weird ass house, am I right? We got a table here, which is super far from any furniture. At least I assume this is meant to be a table. We have another table over here, which appears to have a bowl of fruit and some seats. This looks an awful lot like a window that goes to nowhere. But if you think about it, and you think about like the limited fidelity of the Nintendo 64, the only way that they could get this much detail, this much rendered detail into a background was by pre-rendering it and doing some tricksy engineering to overlay actual rendered stuff onto the sprites themselves. So it's a nice solution to work with the limitations and present a rich world. Kokiri Forest. Hello. Yahoo! Hi in RSS. I think there's a speedrun trick to... Yeah! You can skip climbing down the ladder by backflipping over the side. Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you in RSS. Wow, that's great news. I'm so happy for you. Now you're a true Kokiri in RSS. So again, this is hammering home the point that we were a bit of an outsider before, right? We were in a weird situation by not having a fairy. Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you, reinforcing information so we make sure we know where to go. It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Go see the Great Deku Tree. I want to talk to her again. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Okay. And I'm not gonna 1% the game, I don't think. But I am gonna try and hit on most of the game. So let's do a little jump here. A little jump here. Navi! Alright. You best get ready for some hey listens. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you. Please come with me. Okay, so at this point, in a normal playthrough, you would like wander around and explore stuff. I obviously know which way we're supposed to go. If I remember correctly from when I first played this game, I think one of the first things I did was run into these bushes and be like, oh, bushes! Oh, money! Hooray! And immediately I wanted to run into every single bush I ever saw in a video game after that. And that's still true. But the game does some interesting stuff. It lets us go this way, which will lead us to loot. We'll get to that in a second. Or go into any of these buildings. And it lets us walk up to this exit, but then it just puts a person here. There's like, no. You're not allowed to leave the forest. The great Deku Tree said that if a Kokiri leaves the woods, he or she will die. So, that's pretty extreme. So no leaving the forest. Good to know. We leave the forest, we die. What's this building? It has a sign. House of the Great Mido, boss of the Kokiri. That guy sounds important. Ooh, chests. 1 rupee, rich. $5 rupees. Oh my goodness. Another 5? I feel spoiled. Oh, and a recovery heart. Our life energy is recovered. So, I mean, that's not bad. 11 rupees? 11 bucks out of this house. This guy over here is serving as a tutorial, if we go talk to him. A by the stone, pick it up. A by the stone, pick it up. Mean old Mido. He made me pick up the rocks in front of his house. And that just tells us that if we press A by the stone, we pick it up. Which is the primary purpose of this area. What's she say? Oh, you have a fairy now? That's great, Anarsis. What? You've been called by the great Deku Tree? What an honor. He may give you a special gift. Teehee. That's because the great Deku Tree is our father, the forest guardian, and he gave life to all of us Kokiri. So, not only is he the guardian of the forest, he also gave life in some form or another to these kids. You hop across those stones and you get money, and that makes you go, oh, I want to interact with the environment in new and interesting ways. Which again, is this beginning area tutorializing general design ideas for the rest of the game. All right, let's talk to this guy, who looks like a bit of an asshole with his hands on his hips. Hey you, Mr. No Fairy. What's your business with the great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man. Well, okay then, Captain Toxic Masculinity. But also, I want to point out this this idea of Link not being a real, Kokiri not being a real man. This theme of him not being a real insert descriptor here is going to come up a lot. What? You've got a fairy? Say what? The great Deku Tree actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the great Mido? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You aren't even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're going to help the great Deku Tree without both a sword and a shield ready? What? You're right. I don't have my equipment ready, but if you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Sheesh. All right, we've gotten just enough lore dump to get us going. Oh, I kind of want to go somewhere. And then they've put someone in the way saying, no, you can't. Which, as we all know, is a great motivator. That meanie Mido made me cut the grass at Saria's house. Mido told Saria he would do it so she would like him, but I'm the one doing all the work. You and Saria are close friends, so will you help me cut the grass? I'll let you keep anything that you find while cutting it. It's kind of like a mini quest, a little side quest. It's not strictly a quest. Like, as far as I know, there aren't any game flags associated with it. But it's an interesting little narrative device where they're having people ask us to do basic stuff to teach us mechanics that will be important later in the game. Without specifically saying, you know, it's important that you know how to pick up rocks and cut grass. They're still couching it within the narrative, which is good. Zelda's one of the games that Hyper Light Drifter was based on. Not to mention Ryutama as well. Yeah, I can definitely see that. influence there. The other one was Diablo. I have a hard time seeing the Diablo or the Zelda reference or influence on Diablo. God, I have practiced like 2 speedrun strats, and I want to do both of them, but I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying. So we need a sword and a shield. We haven't seen sight or sound of either of them, but that just means we have to poke around. What's this say? Forest Training Center. Don't recklessly cut signs. Read them carefully. Well, we can't cut anything because we don't have a sword. Ethan, hello. Okay, this is very plainly tutorializing the combat mechanics with the sword, so of limited use to us right now. Woo! Oh yeah, I forgot we got money this way. What is that? No. This way? There we go. And what does this sign say? Switch targeting. Okay, that's teaching us Z targeting. I'm not going to go through all of the tutorials because I know the mechanics. Hole of Z. Let's go through this small hole. Stand in front of the hole and press the directional stick towards it. When the action icon shows enter, press square to crawl into the hole. Pay attention to what the action icon says. So the interface in Ocarina of Time is kind of interesting because they're working with a really limited control scheme. If you look at the controller here, we have 4 buttons, 4 directional buttons here. These are the C buttons, up, down, right, and left. And we also have the A and the B button. You have the start button, which opens the menu. Press that to leave. Yes. And we have this directional button. We have bumpers, and on the bottom, we have 1 little trigger button. This is our Z button. And that's it. That's all we got. Felt like such a great controller to me. Yeah, I think for the time it did a really good job. This game definitely would have been suited to a dual control stick layout, and we will encounter why later. I have a bit of an advantage because I have played too many hours of this game, and so even though it's been probably a year since I picked it up, I have good muscle memory for a lot of it, and I know that I can control the camera by just pointing myself somewhere and pressing the Z button. Otherwise, the auto camera can get a little frustrating. But yeah, let's enter this hole and do what the sign said. It's a little... Like, holding this controller as a kid was great. Holding it as an adult with big-ass hands is a little less great, but that's fine. I hear rumbling sounds. What's this say? Viewpoint with Z targeting. When you have no object to look at, you can just look forward with Z. Stop moving and then change the direction you are facing, or hold down Z for a little while. This can help you get oriented in the direction you want to face. It's quite convenient. If you hold down Z, you can walk sideways while facing straight ahead. Walking sideways can be a very important technique in dungeon corridors. Turn around and try doing this right now. You can also jump. Get some money here. And then if we look this way, we will discover the danger. Yep, there's a big-ass rolling rock. Which is fine, because we just walk behind it and then grab this. Run this way, and... Oh, shit. There we go. What's this sign say? Visit the house of the Know-It-All Brothers to get answers to all your item-related questions. I love the idea that the Know-It-All Brothers just, like, crawled into this space and left a sign that was like, come talk to us, please. It wasn't optimized to control the camera yourself like with other games. When you emulate it with the PS4 controller, you got frustrated a lot. Yeah, I honestly, I remember watching and having you, like, hearing you be like, damn it, I'm using the wrong control stick again. And I think it just is easier to play on the original controller because we don't have that dual stick muscle memory with this thing. what's in the chest. You got the Kokiri sword! On the equipment subscreen, select it with the cursor and equip it with A. This is a hidden treasure of the Kokiri, but you can borrow it for a while. Be sure to practice with it before you really fight. Lots of talking. There's some interesting design decisions with this menu. So, limitation, the screen size is real small. This is currently being rendered out at, I believe, 720 by 480, something like that, with letterboxing on the sides. Snow Dogs, thank you for the 13-month resub. Holy heck, welcome. So, like, the resolution of this game isn't very big, and the old CRT or vacuum tube screens that this would typically be played on did not have high fidelity. So in order to have things be readable and understandable, it had to be produced at a pretty large size. And we have this entire inventory screen, which will eventually fill up with items. So you need all of that information. We have a map, which you needed to present to the players. You have this quest status screen, which you needed to present to the players, and this equipment screen. And all of this information needed to be presentable and understandable by the player with very limited screen space. So they broke it up into these 4 sub-screens. And then you can use, I'm using the stick right now to move around, which is nice and fine and easy, but to facilitate quick movement, especially once these screens start filling up, and using the stick will have us go over a lot of individual items. They have the Z and R buttons, which if you're holding it in a natural fashion, Z will be right here under your left pointer finger, and R will be right here under your right pointer finger. So this is actually, I think, really, really smart design, given the limitations. Oh, whoops, I pressed the wrong button. If you press B, you back into the menu. There we go. So I have equipped the sword. Yeah! And I cut the sign. Whoops. Alright, and we outie. Actually, first, let's cut this because we can. Yeah! We healed up. Crawl into the hole. We have a decent amount of cash now. Alright, so some of the things that we can do, if we're not targeted, this is pretty much our only attack. I think we might be able to do, yeah, we can do a roll, and if we're moving forward, we can do a vertical slash. If we are Z targeted, then we will always do the vertical instead of the horizontal. We will get more attacks later when we get our shield, but also we have the jump attack when we are targeted, which deals, I believe, double damage. Alright, and what's this one say? Swing with B, you'll cut horizontally. Hold Z as you swing, you cut vertically. I thought we got money from breaking this one. I guess not. There we go. God, I want so badly to try, and there's a speedrun strat that I practiced a little bit like a year and a half ago where you can like jump up there, but you need to, oh god, you need to be on like the barest pixel of this fence, and then you need to jump, get some height, and then do a jump attack to get up there, which really, because we're playing casually, doesn't matter. Because we can just walk over here and get up there. It just saves a bunch of seconds walking around here. And let me tell you, Ocarina of Time speedruns are either very fast, like very short, or very long, and that's it. Woo! Almost fell off there. Hello. Hee hee hee. You came all the way up here? You're a real man. That's an interesting contradiction. Look, isn't this view pretty? Change your viewpoint with up C so you can look around the forest with the control stick. So yeah, we can go into first person mode this way and take a look around. We haven't been in this building yet though. So we're gonna go take a look with our 53 rupees. I'm gonna do this. Ah, damn. No. Yeah, if you get close to this door, it triggers this cutscene and you can be a little closer to the door. Hi, Anarsis. Look this way. Look over here with Z and talk to me with A. So, this is showing us that if we target something, we can, it might unlock new interact options. Yes, that's how you use a fairy. It's so great that you finally have a fairy partner. I'll teach you how to talk to people using your fairy. Nope, no thanks. Oh, a shop. Real quick, if you've played this game and you didn't know about this before, you can just get 5 rupees walking around the side there. Welcome! Shop by looking to the left or right. Well, a shield, which we need, is only 40 rupees, so gimme! You're welcome for that important information. You got a Deku Shield! Switch to the equipment subscreen and select the shield. Press R to crouch and defend. If you press R while Z targeting, you can move while defending. Would you like to buy something else? No, that's good. I also like that it updates our character view, and I really like the icon approach to equipment and item selection or display in this game. All right, let's go piss off Mido. Hey, buddy. If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Eh? What's that? Oh, you have a Deku Shield. And what's that? Is that the Kokiri sword? Good grief. Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? I, the Great Mido, will never accept you as one of us. Shoot, how did you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree? Huh? Yeah, Mido is super salty. He appears to have some confidence and control issues. Just walk down this very normal pathway. Oh god. Ba-da-ba-ba, we got a Deku Stick. On the select item subscreen, yada yada yada, set it to C, yes. So we got this item, which will be useful later. We can pull it out now, we can attack with it if we want to. And I will say, there are some glitches you can get where, so actually, hold on. Oh, I see this doesn't work on them. We need the horizontal slashes. Cool. We're running low on HP. Good lord, I might die here. But you can break the sticks against the wall. There are glitches you can get where they don't break. And I believe it does as much damage as the Master Sword, if I remember correctly. Great Deku Tree, I'm back! And now we get our first full view of the tree. Oh, Navi, thou hast returned. Anarsis, welcome. Listen carefully to what I, the Deku Tree, am about to tell thee. Thy slumber these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. As the servants of evil gain strength, a vile climate pervades the land and causes nightmares to those sensitive to it. Verily, thou hast felt it. Anarasis, the time has come to test thy courage. I have been cursed. I need you to break the curse with your wisdom and courage. These are important words, and it'll be apparent why they're important later. Dost thou have courage enough to undertake this task? Yes or no? This is not an actual choice. This game came out before actual choices in games were a thing. Or at least with the amount of data that existed in this game. Then enter, brave Anarasist, and thou too, Navi. Navi the fairy, thou must aid Anarasis. And Anarasis, when Navi speaks, use triangle, or use upsy, to listen well to her words of wisdom. Yep. Ow, everything hurts. I think there's another Deku Baba here, but I don't think it's gonna give us health. No. Okay, so we're hurting pretty bad. I'm gonna go back and get some health, only because this sound is annoying and I don't want to deal with it. Like, I'm pretty sure we can get health inside, but I want to be able to stop and talk about things and all that. So, let's go cut Mido's, or Surya's grass. Oh, a fairy. Hell yeah. Come here. That's a full heal. Yeah, the diegetic use of buttons in the in the dialogue is a little weird, but honestly, I kind of like it, and it's definitely because I'm nostalgic for it, but I just want more in fiction tutorials, because they keep, for me, they keep me in the fiction. They don't pull me out of it. Into the Great Deku Tree. So that camera pan did a couple things. It showed us sort of our current major destination, which is toward the top. It also showed us some of the monsters, right? The spider webs. But it also showed us this ladder right here so that we knew what our current way forward would be. I'm gonna go stand here and listen to Navi. Look, in RSS. You can see down below this web using up C. What's up, dog? Oh yeah. So there's stuff down there. This Deku Baba is a little different, as you can see. And here, we can show the use of shield while moving, while locked on. Boom! Get roasted. And we get a different item this time. Got a Deku Nut. Woo! It will flash and stun the enemy. I don't know that we're going to use these super much, but... oh, we might use them against Goma. Oh, spoilers. Yay, health. Yay, money. Alright, let's go take this ladder. Put away our weapons, and yeah, there we go. Got stuck in this part. Oh no. Look at this wall. The vines growing on it give it a rough surface. Maybe you can climb it. Yep. We're gonna avoid that for now. And open the chest because loot! Hell yeah! You found the dungeon map. Press start to get into the subscreen and look at the map subscreen. Yada, yada, yada. And if you like maps and are in need of maps, you can buy maps from my itch.io. Shameless self-promotion. So, the map here, we can look at the different floors. The little icon on the left tells us which floor we're in. Blue rooms are ones we've been in, and the flashing room is the room that we are in currently. There will be more icons later, and we'll get to that later. Alright, there's a room over here, and I want to go in here. You can open a door by standing in front of it and pressing A. Pay attention to what the action icon says. That's the blue icon at the top of the screen. Uh-oh. Ow, 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 forgive me, master. If I give you a clue, will you let me go? When you jump off a high cliff, if you hold the thumbstick forward, you will roll on the ground when you land and won't get hurt from the fall. I can't guarantee it will work though. If the cliff is really, really high, well, try it if you're feeling bold. What? iTunes, why are you giving me a pop-up right now? What's wrong with you? Okay, solved. Yay, healed. All right, if I remember correctly, we want to do this. Climb over here. Open this chest. What do we get? Oh, hell yeah, you found the fairy slingshot. Press C to take it out and hold it. As you hold C, you can aim and release to unleash a Deku Seed. You want to shoot right away. When you first press C, hold down C a little longer to get a seed ready. Alright, and shaboom! But also, isn't there? Yeah! There's a thing there. Oh, whoops, return. I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World, and I really want to, like, press A to jump up the cliffs while I'm climbing. Woo! Life energy recovered. Yay. So if we had stepped on that platform instead of going up the sides, that ladder would have been really important. But all right, well, we have a slingshot now. We have a new weapon, a ranged weapon. Hold on, let me check why I have notifications. Okay. And I'm gonna try. Ah, shit. Yeah. So there is. You can just kill these things with the slingshot, but you can also hold still when they look at you and climb up. Yeah. Yeah, the old Zelda sounds are real good. Get wrecked. That is the slowest death animation I've ever seen. Uh-oh. Ooh. Okay. I remember how this one works. So... Maybe I don't? There we go. What's in here? Could it be a wayfinding device? It is. It's a compass. You found the compass. Now you can see the location of many hidden things in the dungeon. So if we look at the map now, we'll see that there are some chests and a skull for the boss room, so that we know where loot and stuff is. And this tells us that to our right, there's a chest over there. But interestingly, you will note that the door is still locked, even though we got the item out of here. And there are a lot of Dekubabas here, which is interesting. And will Navi say something here? Yeah. It looks like that torch was burning not too long ago. Interesting. Will she say something about this one? She does not. So right now, the only puzzle that we or the only tools we clearly have are this button and these platforms. So let's go check out this chest over here behind the, Yeah! Woo! Open little chest. Yay, recovery heart. And let's kill this because fuck spiders. You destroyed a gold Skulltula! You got a token proving you destroyed it. Alright, well that didn't solve our problem. But we have a fun little tool here. Poof. Poof. And this is where the game gets fun. Alright. We got a bunch of stuff. We got a bunch of monsters. Are there any more doors up here? There are not. So, if we look on the map, you'll see that we've been to all of these 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor, but we have not been to the basement yet, which we saw underneath the webs, and we didn't really have a tool to deal with the webs before. But an impatient person will just stumble on the solution right around now, where there's that heart to entice you, where you can be like, oh, I could just grab that, right? Like I could just jump for that. And if I do this right, woo, we will stumble into the puzzle solution, which is jumping a long way onto the web. And that's where, yeah, I remember you getting stuck there. It literally killed me, Danny. Okay, where is this guy? Yeah, I think Navi even says something if you wait too long about like, gosh, we just can't quite break this thing. Come on. Ah, shit. I needed more distance. That's not what I wanted. That's fine. Give me more hearts. Dang. So let's see, what can we do here? If we go over here, there's another Skulltula. I wonder, can we backflip into that? We cannot. Okay, can we climb and jump to it? Yeah! Interesting note that I just realized. This button is hovering very slightly off the ground. Alright, and this is going to introduce us to another mechanic, which is fire burning away webs. Oh, I fucked that up. That's right, I forgot. there's another thing they have to do. We have to go down here first. But there's also a chest that we can open, so let's do that. This puzzle, I remember as a kid, took me a solid couple of minutes to solve. But you just hop down there and then hop over here. And then, whoosh. Done. No, we lost a Deku stick. Another one of you, we know how to deal with you. Boop. Please forgive me, Master. I'll never do it again. If you spare me, I'll teach you something cool. You will never beat my brothers up ahead unless you punish them in the proper order. They're very particular and a little kinky. The order is 2, 3, 1. 23 is number 1. Do you think I'm a traitor? 23 is number 1 is a phrase that will exist in my brain until the day that I die. It's a little weird,